In today's video, we're taking a look at how we can use AI platforms like ChatGPT and Claude to help us increase efficiency and speed up our workflow when posting videos to YouTube. Be sure to check out the link to part 1 of this series in the description below so you can see where we left off. And if you're ready, let's start learning. Alright, so now that we're done with getting our text file from TurboScribe, I'm going to go over to ChatGPT. And what we're going to do is we're going to use ChatGPT and have it help us create YouTube video titles and a couple of other pieces of information for when we actually post the video. Alright, so this is what the text file looks like from TurboScribe. And as you can see, it's not perfect. It says ChatGPT a bunch of times. And so what we're going to do is we're only going to take most of the text from this file, but we're going to leave off stuff like this. So I don't want to use this transcribed by TurboScribe portion. I'm just going to start right here. And I'm going to highlight everything down to the bottom. And then I'm also going to leave off this last line where it says transcribed by TurboScribe. So we're basically just going to stop right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And now what I'm going to do is come back to ChatGPT. I'm going to enter my prompt, and then I'm going to enter the text file, and let's see how that works. And now this is not a perfect prompt by any means, but this is just an idea of a prompt that I use in ChatGPT when I want to put my text file in. So as you can see, it just says, using the following text file, please provide me with 10 great YouTube video titles that will pique viewer interest, help with viewer engagement, and improve click-through rate. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and enter that text that I copied, and then we'll go ahead and see what the next step looks like. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the little short prompt that we put right there. And now, if we scroll down in this dialog box, you can see that we've got all of that information from the text file that we put in. So now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and click this arrow, and then let's see what it pops up with as far as video titles. Okay, so if we expand this box, this is the prompt and all the text file. And now if I scroll down, this is all the information that ChatGPT gave us. So as you can see, it gave us all 10 of these potential YouTube video titles, and it also gave a little bit more information. So for example, how to create a ChatGPT account, step-by-step beginner tutorial 2026. And as you can see, you can read all 10 of the different titles. And then that middle portion right here where it says, here are a few additional title styles that tend to perform well for click-through rate and curiosity. The first one, for example, says, I finally tried ChatGPT as a beginner. Here's my honest experience. And so you can see all the different ideas that come up within that middle portion. And then right here it says, for this type of content, titles usually perform best when they combine. And then these are the tips that they give you. So again, this is not to say that this is the perfect prompt to use. This is not to say that this is the perfect way to get a title for YouTube. This is just an idea of how you can use AI as a tool to get your video titles and other information for YouTube videos. Okay, so now that ChatGPT has helped us create all of these different video titles, now what we're going to do is we're going to use all the context from this conversation so far, and we're going to have ChatGPT help us actually create a video description as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in the prompt asking ChatGPT to help us with the video description, and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so here's the prompt that I'm going to be putting into ChatGPT, and this is not a great prompt. This is not something that took a long time for me to put together. I basically just made it simple, getting the point across of what I want it to do. So as you can see, I said, using the context from this conversation and the text file previously submitted, please generate a great YouTube video description. I'd like the description to be friendly, informative, use emojis, and remind the viewer that AI is complex, but that we're learning everything together. So let's go ahead and click the arrow and see what comes up with. Alright, so you can see here, this is the prompt that I put in. And now you can see if we look right here, it did use emojis that I asked for. So upon first glance, it does look like it did what I asked it to do. And then it looks like it is going to be friendly and informative. So as you can see, I can take this entire YouTube video description, I can just copy that and then paste it into YouTube. So when I post the video, it's all done for me. So as you can see, ChatGPT is a very powerful tool for even things like what we did here, where we generated a video description for YouTube. And so all you have to do is just copy all of this, and then you can literally just put it into your YouTube video description when you're posting, and it's as simple as that. Okay, so another thing we're gonna do now, we've got the video description, we've got the video titles that we got from ChatGPT. Now we're gonna put in the following prompt to help us get tags when we actually upload the video. So the prompt that I put down here, it says, using the context and information from this chat, please create 20 great tags separated by comma. Now, the separated by comma portion is important because when you post in YouTube, you have to separate all the different tags by comma, and that actually creates individual tags and separates them. I'll show that when we actually post the video, but just know that if you separate it by comma, it's going to save you work in the long run when you're actually posting the video. So I'm going to go ahead and click the arrow again, and let's see what it gives us. All right, so as you can see with our prompt here, it gave us ChatGPT, ChatGPT tutorial, how to create a ChatGPT account, so on and so forth. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it into the tag section once we actually post the video. All right, so here we are in Claude, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with ChatGPT, but now we're going to use Claude to create those YouTube video titles and video descriptions. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my text that I got from TurboScribe. And now as you can see, this is the same text file. So we are going to leave off all of this extra stuff the same way we did with ChatGPT. We're going to start right here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it, leave off that bottom piece, and I'm going to go ahead and copy it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go back to ChatGPT. And I'm going to use this same piece of text that we use in our prompt. I'm going to go ahead and put it into Claude. So as you can see, if I paste that, this is that same prompt we used for ChatGPT. Now again, I want to give a very, very specific reminder. This is not by any means a great prompt to use. We're just doing this for teaching purposes so that you can see how to input some type of prompt and then get the result. Obviously, if you use a better prompt in the future, you'll get a much better result. But again, this is just for training purposes. All right, so here's where Claude and ChatGPT are slightly different. If you recall, when we used ChatGPT, we pasted all of the TurboScribe text here in the text box, right down here. And then when we hit enter, this is how it popped up. Well, when we use Claude, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paste the TurboScribe text here in the box, but you'll see that when I do that, it actually pops up right here as a little posted or pasted file. And so when I click this, what you'll see is it does pop up with all of the information, as you can see. So if you pull up the text file, what you can see is this first sentence: ChatGPT is one of the most well-known AI platforms in the AI industry. This pasted content box shows ChatGPT is one of the most well-known AI platforms in the AI industry. So my point in showing you this is how all of the information gets pasted into Claude if you paste the text that we copied as opposed to the layout that ChatGPT uses. So now that we've verified the information in the text from the TurboScribe transcription, I'm going to go ahead and hit this arrow right here, and we're going to see what type of result we get with this prompt. All right, so now that we've got all the information put in there and we hit go ahead and go on that arrow, this is the information that Claude provides to us. So as you can see, here are 10 YouTube video titles based on your content that are designed to boost clicks and engagement. And you can see that these are the 10 files that Claude gave us. And then you'll also see a few extra notes here in the other portion of the window. And the nice thing about Claude is it'll give you some examples. So what I mean by that is it says, Title 5, 7, and 10, lean into your relatable regular guy persona, which builds trust with nervous beginners. Titles 2, 4, and 8 use specific searchable phrases that match when beginners actually type into YouTube. And titles 1, 9, and 6 use urgency and social proof to drive curiosity and clicks. So the nice thing about Claude is that it does give you some tips just like ChatGPT did, but it actually gives you a little bit of reference material for each of the different titles it provides to you. All right, so jumping back to ChatGPT very quickly, you remember that we used this prompt in order to get a great video description for the YouTube video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy that and jump back to Claude. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same prompt here in the text box, and then let's see what the information gives us back from Claude. All right, so you can see right here that we have the prompt that we put into Claude. And now this is the information that Claude gave us back. So you can see the video description. Welcome back to the channel. They did use emojis here, as well as the green check marks, just like in ChatGPT, very similar. And then you can see right here, it also gave, let's be honest here for a second, AI can feel really overwhelming. Don't miss the next video that's coming out. If this video helped you, drop a like, comment, subscribe, so on and so forth. So as you can see, just like ChatGPT, Claude also gave us great video descriptions with emojis, just like we put in our prompt. And so you can see it's very similar to how ChatGPT gave us information. Claude was able to do a similar job as well. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to ChatGPT, and I'm going to go ahead and get this same prompt that we used about creating tags for Claude. And so now I'm going to scroll down to the dialog box, and now again I'm going to go ahead and put that prompt right here. And so again, this is not going to be a great prompt that you might want to use. This is just for training purposes, an example of a prompt that you would use. So I'm going to go ahead and click this arrow right here, and then let's see the results that Claude gives us. All right, so if I scroll down, what you can see is right here, we did get our 20 tags separated by comma. So that will give us those individual tags when we actually input them into YouTube. And you can see that Claude did also give a few tips right here, just like it did in the last section. And so this is going to kind of give you an idea of some of the tips that you can use when you want to use those tags effectively. AI is something that many would argue is here to stay. Because AI platforms are so powerful, this video series is designed to show how we can use AI to help us with increasing speed and efficiency when posting on YouTube. Whether it's using AI to create YouTube video thumbnails, video titles, or video descriptions, the information in this video is the first step towards using the power of AI to speed up your workflow. Stay tuned for part 3 of this YouTube AI workflow series to see how we can use AI to help us generate awesome thumbnails for YouTube.